free high-speed internet access, a 24-hour business center, and large in-room workstations. And check out the Bistro, where you'll enjoy healthier food and beverage options, as well as high-tech conveniences. Book your room today at the Courtyard Lincoln, downtown Haymarket.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Happy hour.
How's life treating you, man?
Here's why the people don't really respond to your questions, Nick. Are we in the circle of truth? You really want to know why? Because the feeling when you ask those questions is not very genuine. You really don't care about our feelings. You only care about Nick.
You make me sound so bad.
It is. You really only care about Nick.
I do care.
No, you do not.
If I didn't care, I wouldn't ask you. You only ask that question because it seems nice.
And you want to look good on the street.
That's not it at all. It makes you sound like a nice person. You don't care. You don't care how
you
much
really
it was.
It's cool.
Weekdays from 1 to 2 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by Nebco. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome in. A happy Monday to you and yours. Thanks for making us a part of your day. 402-464-5685 if you want to be a part of today's show. Big thanks to Nebco for sponsoring it. I'm Austin Norman, joined by the Husker Hall of Famer, the 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland. Stricky, we got off on the wrong foot. That's my fault. I'm a little jumpy. I'm a little antsy. I apologize.
No,
I'm settled down. Hope you had a great weekend, my friend.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, listen, it's understandable because even though you said it, it still would have felt better walking in here knowing that they would have accomplished the mission. It was a different team for Duke that they faced before. I think North Carolina's defense had gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
DJ Burns had just really established his dominance. They looked like they were taking advantage of him not being out there, to close off the first half. Diarra tried to make up the difference. They just weren't. He just wasn't the same, and they weren't able to get it going. Then all of a sudden, it was like Duke just went cold. They just went bone dry cold, and it's tough when that happens to recover from. And the confidence then begins to build on the other side, and they got the job done. They closed the deal, and once they opened that double-digit lead, they weren't able to. It just felt like I don't know if I want to call it panic, but
they were pressing.
They looked like it was pressed.
Yeah, trying to get it all back at once, which, as you know, never works. Right? You got to chip away one possession at a time. And the problem for me, Strick, is that Duke's guards weren't good. Right? You saw Roach take over against Houston. Had all 14 of his points in the second half. Filipowski was pretty good against Houston as well, especially down the stretch.
Yeah.
But you saw Tyrese Proctor lock up LJ Cryer late in that game. Jared McCain was on the floor playing his role. McCain had 32 of Duke's 64 points, which is pretty impressive, but it took him 20 shots to get there. He was the only player to make a three. I think combined, Roach and Proctor ended up 5 of 22. Proctor went scoreless, didn't hit a three, didn't play the same level of defense. And you could tell North Carolina State had Roach in their game plan, right? Make him take tough shots. They did a good job staying in front of him. And that's where, as a Duke fan, I think this is a yes and, not an either or situation as I look at the season as a whole. Because, Strick, I said coming in, this was a Sweet 16 team.
Mm-hmm.
I did. I saw the lack of wings, not a lot of rim protection. And the three-point shooting was better than I thought it was going to be. But I just thought they'd run into a team with an athletic wing that was going to be a mismatch, or the guards would get downhill too much, and that'd be the end of it. Well, okay, Duke gets to the Sweet 16, where I thought they'd end their season, and they beat Houston in a way they haven't beat teams this year, playing defense, executing, playing slow. Duke hadn't done that this year. I'm like, okay, there's actually a chance for this team to get over the hump. And on the one hand, yeah, I mean, everyone's losing to North Carolina State right now. They've won 9 games in a row. It's incredible what the Wolfpack is putting together right now. So yeah, no, there's no shame in losing to the hottest team in America. Especially if you already overachieved, I think, external expectations for you, especially over the last half of the year. This was a probably second weekend team, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But then the pain comes in, Strick, where 2 years ago, Duke loses in the Final Four to North Carolina in Krzyzewski's last game. Right? That's brutal. Carolina holds that trump card forever. There's no coming back for that. And now North Carolina State is on this heater, but Duke being Duke is supposed to be the team that takes those dreams and crushes them.
I mean,
that doesn't care.
Almost 18 Final Four appearances. That would have been 19, I think.
Something like that. It's been
crazy.
A lot. It's all there on the table for you. Just step up and play the villain. But you saw it. Duke went down to Arkansas this year. Didn't have the killer instinct. In Arkansas's biggest game of the year. Didn't find a way to win it. Go to Wake Forest. A team that's fighting for its, NCAA tournament hopes. Obviously didn't get realized. But Duke wasn't able to win that game. A couple other examples throughout the year as well. But the Duke team didn't have that killer instinct. And now you gave a second in-state school a trump card over you. You guys were this much higher seated than us. We were just sandbagging. You were supposed to be better, and we beat you.
Handily.
Even if Duke overachieved, it doesn't take away the sting of that's now a second school in the state that wears a different color, that has a trump card over you. That, no, maybe you weren't expected, by a lot of people to go to the Final Four, but it's little old NC State. They're not that good. Put an end to their run, and Duke wasn't able to do it. So I'm equal parts, happy that the team overachieved from what I thought they would do. But even if they overachieved, it was right there in the palm of their hand. And what do we say? They let it slip.
They let it slip right out. And again, I was looking forward to the matchup of Zach Edey, and we're going to get into who we think are some of the better players out of this NCAA tournament. Stay with us on that. But I wanted to say that we're going to get into some of those details, but I was looking for the juggernauts of, Zach Edey against Big Kalkbrenner, and it's how that matchup was gonna face. Now I'm looking forward to this DJ Burns and Zach Edey. Like, I'm really looking forward to that. A guy with great footwork, good body, knows how to create space, and you like. This kind of reminds me of Derek Walker against Zach Edey, but just a bigger DJ Burns, just bigger body, taller, a little bit longer wingspan.
Thicker.
Thicker. I'm looking forward to seeing how these two match up. Now, obviously, North Carolina State's going to have to try to keep him. They've got too big because Diarra is somebody who can also step over and meet the challenge if they need to. But outside of those two, I don't know if they have that type of depth, and it could be trouble for them. So they've got to probably monitor that. But three of my four are in. I had Purdue going to the Final Four. I had UConn going to the Final Four, and I also had Bama going to the Final Four. So I was able to get 3 in.
Not bad, Stricky.
Not bad.
Job well done.
Not bad. I thought it was looking bad. I can guarantee you this. Outside of a North Carolina State fan, there's nobody thought that red was going to go this far. So if you did, that's just because you're in North Carolina. I venture to say I don't think you felt that they would make a five-game run in the ACC and then jump off and make another 4.
Well, the last team to make a 5-game run like this was Kemba. Kemba and UConn, and how'd that end up for Kemba? I noticed you're wearing Wolfpack red just to troll me today, so really appreciate that. But, before we go to break, the game of the weekend I thought was going to be Illinois UConn didn't turn out like that. UConn won a 30-0 run. 30 to 0. To 0.
30.
Bama Clemson was pretty good, back and forth, tied all the way. You saw the difference in styles play out. That was a pretty good game. Bama ends up going to its first Final Four, but without a doubt, the game of the weekend was that Purdue-Tennessee game. Strick, at one point, he was 58-58. Connect had 31. Edey had 31. The other 8 players, on the court at that time had no more than 27 points between them. Incredibly even matched game. I said this to Nick, and I want your thoughts on it. Yeah, we know that Purdue kind of surged ahead late in that game and kind of held Tennessee at arm's distance. To me, the problem for Tennessee was late in the first half when Connect was cooking. He went cold. No one picked up the slack when Tennessee got up double digits. They didn't go from 10-15 or 12-17. It stood there, let Purdue get that run, take the lead at halftime, and then it was back and forth from there.
And see, that's the thing about runs is if you get a run, you want to max the run.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they didn't do. They didn't. You got to max the run, meaning, like you just said, you're up double digits, 12. Your max is a couple of good stops and a couple of great executed sets to push it to 14-16. And then if you lose the run, understanding that Purdue's going to make a run. It's a game of runs. You're normally in a collegiate game, you're going to see anywhere from 2 to 4 runs on each side. Meaning, first half, somebody may make a run. It may be a recovery run. Second half, you may get another couple of runs or 3, or sometimes you might get 4, just depending on style. Like you said, the walk-up style obviously clocks, so forth and so on. Push styles, you're probably going to get a couple of good runs because you're going to probably miss some shots, or possessions, right? So that's what this game, you knew if you didn't max your run, like you said, Connect went cold. No one was able to fill the void after that. That group then is now waiting for the Purdue run, which then they make, and then they're able to overcome. They extend their run, which then, it's there for a minute, but then they extend their run, timing of that to hold you at bay, and then you're trading baskets. It's something that you just can't end up overcoming.
You can't. Obviously, Tennessee didn't, so that's why they are still in search of their first Final Four. Purdue back to the Final Four for the first time in 44 years. Talk about that.
SEC was deep. Like, Tennessee, Alabama, I actually thought Auburn was going to go a little bit deeper, but then also you have it was Tennessee, Alabama.
I mean, Kentucky flamed out.
And Kentucky, they flamed out. But I'm happy for the ACC, and I'm happy for this storyline. Let me just say that, because it was looking very, top seeded. They just were able to get through and make their marks and push towards the Final Four. But to see this storyline, because they become kind of the darlings in Dallas. Like, Dallas was like NC State rooting. Shout out to Spud Webb, my homeboy. Yeah, I know you excited, my boy. Curtis Marshall also. We're having some conversations about this run, but I'm happy that there's a storyline involved in it as well. Not your typicals,
right?
Your Connecticut, your typical. Your Purdue is
finally
questionable, right? Right. It's kind of, and your Alabama is actually a storyline of adversity because of what they endured last year. And then you now have a new team that is able to. So are they solidifying themselves as a new blood at this point? I still kind of questionable yet. I'd like to see another year. But yeah, that's kind of what you got. So you've got multiple mini storylines working into this Final Four. So it's going to be exciting.
It's awesome. Obviously wish either Nebraska or Duke could have made it out of the South region personally. But hey, here we are. We will keep talking about the Final Four storylines all week, especially as we get toward the end of the week. You have the women's Final Four Friday and Sunday. right here on these airwaves.
The usual suspects.
Usual suspects. And
outside
then,
of USC.
Right. And then you have the men's Final Four Saturday and Monday here on these airwaves. You also should note that we are carrying the Royals again this year. So I know we had some people last week asking why the Royals weren't on. We were just working some stuff out behind the scenes, but don't worry, they are there. If you ever don't hear us on the radio, you hear the Royals instead, don't worry. We are still on the air. We are still having our show. You'll just have to go to the app or to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter. All thanks to Sartor Heyman Jewelers for those live streams. And of course, Allo Channel 961 will not be carrying the Royals games. It will be carrying our show. We'll go to break, but text line and comment section, we want your involvement with this question. Who's the best player left in the Final Four? Who's the best player? Let us know, 402-464-5685. We'll go through each team's best player, try to figure out who that is, and get our best player left standing here in segment 2 of the show.
If the week's been too hectic to even think about dinner, or your family can't handle one more night of leftovers, then it's time to let Hog Wild do the cooking. Hog Wild's family packs are one heck of a good deal for a complete barbecue meal loaded with all the smoked meats, tasty sides, buns, and sauces you need to feed your family. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way.
Tune in every Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. for the Malone Radio Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Don't miss the opportunity to learn about the Malone Community Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln and the surrounding area. It's the Malone Radio Show with Executive Director John Goodwin and Sports Director Mike Hunter every Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, folks. Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, and the Chevrolet and GMC Truck Month is now underway. We've got huge savings in Louisville. Get $9,000 off or 1.9% for 72 months on select models. Yes, you heard right. That's $9,000 off or 1.9% for 72 months happening right now at Coppell. So take that short money saving drive down 144th Street or check us out online at CoppellCars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with roof credit. Stock number G214773.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a chance of showers and perhaps a few thunderstorms. See an afternoon high around 52. Tonight, a chance of showers continues. Be breezy as well with the low around 37. And tomorrow, decreasing clouds throughout the day. A little breezy with the high around 57. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today. At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Here you go. Coffee's on me and my new BFF. I thought I was your best friend forever. BFF like best financial friend at Members Own Credit Union. Right now, they're offering $100 when you consolidate or transfer a loan or an existing credit card balance and meet requirements. Plus, you get great rates and free advice from a financial partner that will put you first. That sounds like a match made in heaven. Members Own Credit Union is the type of bestie you can count on. Get started today at memberzonecu.org/BFF. Limitations may apply. Equal housing opportunity.
What's the radon level at your home? Don't know? Find out with a call to Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. Make sure your home is safe with a radon check from Bryant. If you've already tested, ask Bryant for a free estimate for mitigation. Once completed, you'll get a report showing how much safer your home is. When it comes to radon, call Bryant 467-1111 for testing and mitigation. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Whether you're looking for a place to stay for a concert at PBA, a Nebraska home game, or just a night on the town, the Courtyard Lincoln Downtown Haymarket is the place for you. Enjoy an evening at one of many restaurants or bars within a short walking distance. Business travelers at the hotel will enjoy free high-speed internet access, a 24-hour business center, and large in-room workstations. And check out the Bistro, where you'll enjoy healthier food and beverage options, as well as high-tech conveniences. Book your room today at the Courtyard Lincoln Downtown Haymarket.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
I think about all the infrastructure that got built up behind the scenes by Coach Osborne, that Coach Solich took over, and then some of that infrastructure was eroded. Matt Rule still has to prove this, but I think Matt Rule's style is that, yeah, he'd like the infrastructure in place, but I think Matt Rule has the personality to do everything in his power to bend it to the way he wants it.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in segment 2 of the show. I am Austin Orman, 402-464-5685. Still looking for the answer to this question. Who's the best player left in the Final Four? The men's Final Four is what we're talking about right now. We can get into the women's here in a little bit. But who's the best player left in the men's Final Four? Let's just take a look at the obvious candidates. Okay, we'll start with Purdue. Zach Edey. Okay, already won National Player of the Year last year. Increased his stats almost across the board. I mean, that's a really good, really efficient player who's the linchpin of what Purdue wants to do offensively and defensively. I mean, really, it is both sides of the ball, and not just because he's tall and can block shots. The way he can play and drop coverage is pretty impressive, and that's really the way that I think modern defense is trending, is getting a guy that can block shots, protect the rim, and force teams into some of those uncomfortable mid-range shots. The other argument on the Purdue side, of course, Braden Smith, who joined his teammate Zach Edey as a first-team All-Big Ten player. Braden Smith has become a knockdown shooter, took better care of the ball this year. So I think those two are pretty self-explanatory. But, Stricky, if I had to ask you who the best player on Purdue's team is it no doubt Edey, or do you give Braden Smith a little love maybe?
I think Braden Smith has come up the rung a little bit because of what he's required to do, but I still think the weight and the team itself is carried definitely by Zach Edey. Let's be honest, Zach. So what he's averaged 24 points, 11 rebounds, so a double-double. Averaged.
Yes, not just the tournament, all season. So he's averaged that. And a couple of blocks a game, but he's shooting almost 62% and then another 72% from the free throw line. And that's pretty good for a guy at 7 foot.
Yes, right? I think what's different and unique about this time is he's learned lessons from the previous and how teams have schemed him, knowing how to catch, watch before he does. You know, you used to be catch, move, then get into trouble, or catch, and then they're on him, and then he's trapped and don't know how to really get out of it. I think he's learned by watching film and understanding those parts of his game that he needed to improve on, and that's what's allowed them to make this run a little bit. And as I said, Braden Smith and the likes of them coming up the rung. Now, you asked the question, who do I think's the best? I think Zach probably is the best, and then I'd probably go to Tristan Newton, who would be probably one
more so
of
than
the guys. I think so. I think he's obviously Klingon is a dominant force. The
Kling
size,
Kong, they call him.
Yeah, all of that. But I think with him, because he's an elite defender, I think his offense is also stepped up another level from what he was able to do on last year. His numbers are pretty solid across the board. I mean, you're looking at mid-teens, in that 15 range. So his numbers are just solid. But then you look at the fact that he's 7 rebounds a game, 6 assists a game, throwing a steal, and then also a half a block. That's just good balance across the board. I mean, shooting like at 40%, 32. I mean, it's nothing that's going to blow you away. 80% from the free throw line. Nothing's going to blow you away, but he's a solid factor. And I think that stability for that team is what they get from Tristan Newton.
It's a little weird that Newton doesn't shoot better from 3 because his free throw numbers are absolutely phenomenal. 80, 81.5, 88, 89, and 90%, and then 80% this year. Yeah. You think when a guy's shooting, 80, 85% from the free throw line, he's going to be a 35, 36, 37% three-point shooter. But I think some of it is he takes a lot of tough looks for them, late shot clock. And I think he's definitely their most well-rounded player. But I think there's an argument for Klingon. Let me throw Cam Spencer in there as well. That's a versatile piece. He hit the 3 at the end of the game, not the end of the game, the end of the half against San Diego State to push that lead to 9. Newton is probably their best player. I think you're onto something there. Klingon might be their most dominant player.
Yeah.
But I think the guy that embodies UConn the best is the spitting image of Dan Hurley is Cam Spencer, who talks all the junk, who hits all the 3-pointers. Not a great defender, but will at least compete down there. So honestly, to me, Cam Spencer might be the most indispensable piece of that UConn team from just a mentality standpoint.
I can't fight you on that. They're Huskies. They're dogs. He embodies that. I think the dog form of the Husky and on that team. And so I can't necessarily fight that. I mean, you're right. I mean, Klingon is a phenomenal player for them. He's 14 of 18 shots and 33 points in the 2 wins that they've had initially, and then now the extra 4. That was the first parts of the tournament once it started, and 14 rebounds and 8 blocks just against Northwestern all by himself. Right? So that's domination. That's that's a factor that they have that I think you're going to see something unique about potentially about this tournament that we haven't. Dominant center play. That's something that we haven't really seen in the NCAA tournament in recent past. One of the things we've always talked about is dominant guard play. That has been the force. I'm quick to ask you, is this a shift back? Because games in playing styles go through cycles, right? For a while, even in the 80s, 90s, early 90s, it was very center dominated. You saw a shift into the guard with the Michael Jordan, and you saw a lot of that guard, 2-3 guard domination for a while. And then
you got into wings a little bit.
And then you kind of saw Tim Duncan handling things from the 4, giving you a little bit more of that stretchy, can hit the mid-range a little bit. And then it started, then Dirk comes, and then he's showing you a whole different type of big and KG style, guys like that. But now it seems as if the centers, because DJ Burns, Klingon, Edie, and, obviously they don't, who else is
Bama doesn't run
Bama
like
doesn't
that.
really have that style.
No.
So,
well, I'll answer your question this way. College basketball has always been a place for good centers. I mean, you think about even like Baycott for Carolina. You think about Luka Garza, the numbers that he put up for Iowa. Deron Holmes for Dayton has really changed the game. Robbie Avila at Indiana State, guys like that.
I like him.
I know. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Larry Blurred, all the good nicknames. College basketball has always had these guys, but I think the guard play has stepped up around each of those teams, because when you talk about those centers, Strick, you talk about DJ Horn and DJ Burns. You talk about Braden Smith and Zach Edey. You talk about Tristan Newton and Donovan Clingan, where I think Iowa's guards really let it down when Iowa was a 2 seed, in the tournament.
Yeah.
When it's just Dayton's guards, absolutely let it down against Arizona. Arizona's guards let Omar Ballo down in their loss to Clemson. I think college basketball has always had those centers. I think the guards on these teams have stepped up to a level of consistency we haven't seen. And I also think, Strick, when you look at the way Alabama's playing, maybe that's a bit too far out with the number of threes it takes. NC State, again, I don't really know what it is they do that well, other than other teams just miss open looks against them from three. But I think when you look at what UConn and what Purdue are doing, it's very modern NBA in a lot of ways. They trust their big guys to play drop coverage, protect the rim, but force those tough contested mid-range shots, get back and rebound. They have, in Purdue's case, a big lead guard in Braden Smith running the show, but Fletcher Lawyer can do it. Lance Jones can do it. Newton's not huge, but Caravan can dribble. Spencer can dribble. Diarra a little bit for them. UConn as well. So I think UConn and Purdue are starting to model the NBA to some degree, where, it's the era of the big man right now between Jokic, Embiid, Giannis, Wemby, guys like that. But what UConn and Purdue are asking their big men to do is what NBA big men are doing, and then the perimeter guys are stepping up around them. Is that fair?
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're doing what they're asked to do. I don't know if any of them are. They're not like Jokic.
No,
they're not like Embiid. I've always said that I believe for Zach Edey to have success, I think Zach Edey kind of is like a better form of Taco Fall.
Yeah,
just more skilled form of Taco Fall. And Taco Fall ends up getting in, but really just doesn't have a spot for, because his footwork, Zach Edey's footwork isn't like Rudy Gobert.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
His timing isn't on that level. There's still a little awkwardness to it on the defensive side. Offensively, he's okay. Doesn't stretch enough. So I think either somebody's probably going to take a chance at him and throw him in the G League initially to see if they can develop that part of him. I think the way he shoots his free throws, he has the ability to stretch, but to what extent we're going to have to wait and see. Clingan, I don't know if he has that same stretch ability. Now, I think Kalkbrenner does. I don't think he's athletic enough. He kind of gives me Brooke Lopez vibes.
Okay. I'm glad you brought Splash Mountain Brooke Lopez up, because I think he's the template for the modern NBA role player center, right? If you have a dominant scorer like Embiid, a dominant passer, and just game manager like Jokic is, you hone those skills. Neither Edey or Clingan pass like Jokic or score like Embiid. To me, Brooke Lopez is the guy whose film I'm showing them. Can you learn his timing, his footwork in the drop? Can you just space out to the corners and maybe as a trailer? Those are the only threes we need you to hit, because I think they're tall. Brooke Lopez didn't shoot threes until he got to Milwaukee.
That's a fact.
And Budenholzer says, hey, your free throw numbers are good enough. We want you to work on corner threes, occasionally trailing, and then play the defensive player of the year. Let's seem necessarily mobile enough, but I think Brooke Lopez is the exact template for those guys to succeed in the modern NBA.
This is how you make your money, though. This is why they say you are a professional. You're an MBA, but you're a professional. Professionals hone the craft. They go and work on specific things that make them able to have, not likability, but there's a word I'm looking for.
Longevity?
Longevity is a part of it, but to where a team wants you.
Yeah, desirability.
You know what I mean? To where a team says, you know what, you're a good fit for what we do or for us. You want them to be able to have that, that you are on their mind, and then you have to have advocacy by way of your agent to speak that language to those executives to help them to understand why you're fit for that specific organization. That's what Zach Edey's going to need. He's going to need somebody to tell the story. He's going to need somebody to tell that he has a professional mentality. He works that hard.
I picked up a basketball 6 years ago.
You've seen the development of how he's come from where he's come from, and there's more in store. You know what I mean? And then you get him in there to work with footwork guys, and you work with quick twitch guys, and you work. If you're Zach Edey and you're his agent, you're paying for guys to hone the craft. That's why you're a professional. You've got to build things to make you unique from just anybody else out there. You're already unique by way of your size. You're already unique by a skill set that you provide. High, like I saw this guy, I can't remember his name. You guys, you would be blown away. And you may have seen it. There was a guy that he's playing in the NBA, and he shot the worst looking free throw.
Oh, was that Marcus Camby?
No, he did just recent. This guy shot the free throw.
Oh yeah.
I was like, how the can I say that? Hell?
HELL double hockey sticks.
Double hockey sticks. How in the hell did this guy get into the league with that? Like, how? I don't understand it, but it blew me away. I can't remember his name, but you guys, if you've seen it, 402-464-5685. And he literally, like, he slung it. Like, it was like, what are those things that they play where the ball goes into like this little, like, hooked arm, like this, if you're watching, and you sling the thing?
Yeah, the little trebuchet.
Yeah. That's how he shot the shot. It like he did like that, and it looked like a trebuchet, whatever it's called, trebuchet.
I know the one you're talking about. I just don't remember who it was.
It was the worst.
Was it for the Blazers?
It was either that or Toronto, maybe.
Okay, we're going to do some research during break.
Oh, God.
Couple things to get to here in our last segment, though. Who's the best player on Alabama? Who's the best player on NC State? We'll answer those questions. Then we'll also touch on the NCAA's different three-point lines in the Portland Regional. How does such a thing happen? He's Strick. I'm Austin. This is On the Block. We'll wrap up Hour 1 next. Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just the professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Service Ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
The Omaha Supernovas are back in action this Tuesday, April 2nd, versus the San Diego Mojo at the Viejas Arena in San Diego. The Mullen Motors pregame show with Derek Pearson and Renee Saunders starts at 8 p.m. with first serve at 9. Make sure to tune in to the next Ag Appraisal and Realty postgame show right after the match ends. Catch all the action on your flagship station, 93.7 The Ticket, and statewide on the Supernovas Radio Network.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
I see the future in our public school classrooms every day. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. I also see how critically important parent and community support is to our students' success. Support your public schools. Get involved. Form a business school partnership or become a school volunteer. Great schools and great communities work hand in hand.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Wrapping up hour one of the show here on a Monday. Big thanks to Nebco for sponsoring Austin Norman and Erick Strickland with you for On the Block 2 to 4. All right, Strick, Zach Edey, Tristan Newton. Who's NC State's best player? Is it one of the DJs?
It's got to be DJ Burns for me, man.
Okay.
It's just got to be, because literally he has put them on their back, on his back like a backpack. And I'm not talking about Dora the Explorer.
Backpack.
I'm talking about literally NC State. Get on my back, and I'm going to take you to the promised land. Because they were done easy to me in the first half until he got back in, and he's very cerebral. Like he's more cerebral than what you would think or consider. Like he's not just a mountain. He's got some working brain cells and neurons and whatnot. Great footwork, knows how to use your body and the physicality that you're trying to impose upon him. He's able to use it. Finding guys. He made some great passes to some open cutters, because you find yourself, when he gets the ball, you find yourself staring, just looking. What is he going to do? Or what is my assignment to get down here and maybe get a double team? And then he's able to like find the right guy, make the right play. I think he's him for that.
I'm going the other DJ. I'm going to DJ Horn. Their leading scorer, also averages 3 rebounds and a couple assists per game. Burns does lead the team in assists, or second, I guess, in assists, but 2.8. Just a rounding error from the guy who leads, Michael O'Connell. But what Horn does is shoots 80% of the free throw line and 41% from 3. NC State's not a great, not a tremendous shooting team, only 34.7% as a team on the year. So Horn has that stretch factor. And I think you saw it, Strick, in the game against Duke, was that, excuse me, when Horn settled down and made some of those reads that he's normally making, NC State was better. I would have liked to see Duke get more creative in how they decided to guard or really not guard NC State in the second half. But I think those cracks were there in the first half. Horn just made better reads. And again, he's a guard. He has the ball in his hands a little bit more. And I trust him. I don't know if I trust him more, but we know guards win in March. So I'm going to say DJ Horn. And then Alabama, Strick. The best player on Alabama in the tournament has been Mark Sears. Yeah. Almost without a doubt. I mean, he's averaging 21.5 points on the year, shooting 43% from 3 and 86% at the free throw line. Grant Nelson had a good game against Carolina. He's been inconsistent. Is there an argument for anyone besides Sears in your mind?
Well, I think one that I would have loved to have watched, but obviously the injuries was I think his concussion protocol, it seemed like, for Latrell. His ability to stretch the floor is one of the areas that I thought would have helped propel them.
44% from 3 this year.
Exactly, right? Because the Crimson Tide, they started 1-13 from 3-point range in one of their games, 5 for 20 overall. So now that's not overall, that's early.
Yeah.
It's just early in the tournament. So obviously what I'm saying that to say that those numbers just show why I think Latrell Ricell Jr. is missed, because of that ability to knock down. He's going to stretch you. He's going to force you to run off on threes, which opens up the court a little bit more for driving opportunity. So this team obviously is one that loves an up-tempo style. You have Estrada, that's pretty solid. Jaren Stevenson, solid. But I think Sears is what propels them to a different level. This is his ability to create and get space and knock down. He gives me young Jalen Brunson kind of vibes. Young Jalen Brunson. Now, Jalen Brunson now is a
monster. Yeah.
But young Jalen, he gives me kind of that vibe.
Okay, so your matchups then are big man on big man and guard on guard for best player. Sears versus Newton and Edey versus Burns. Who's the best player left? If those are the 4 best players on the team, who's the best player left?
As far as
out of those 4.
Of those 4? That's a tough one. 402-464-5685. Tell me who's
We're not going
best.
to break till you answer, Stricky. But yes, also text
for me, DJ Sexy Burns.
Ooh.
First, he's a lefty, so Stricky's biased. But I love the story because I'm the underdog king. Because I'm him. I'm the underdog. So I love that story, and so that's why I think I'm going to go with him. That's just my bet.
I think Zach Edey is the most accomplished player left in the field. I think DJ Burns and NC State are the best story left in the field. I think Tristan Newton is maybe the most important piece of the best team left in the field. I don't know if any single one of them is playing as well as Mark Sears is right now.
Well,
I don't know.
Well,
that's all I'm going to say.
That's what you're going to say.
That's
Well, we're going to see.
We will.
It's coming up.
We're not going to Tennessee. We're just going to see.
We're just going to see.
Sorry, Tennessee.
Sorry,
You
you're
lost.
out of there.
Had a good run.
You got Vols out.
Yeah. Went Vols to the wall.
Yeah.
He's Strick. I'm Austin. This is On the Block at 93.7 The Ticket. Hour 2 of the show. Here's the question. Husker fans, would you trade a football national title for a men's Sweet 16 appearance? Would you, Husker fans, trade a national football title for a men's basketball Sweet 16 appearance? Would you trade a volleyball title
I'm gonna say
for a women's Final Four? We'll get Stricky's answer and more in hour 2.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
NIPCO is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. NEBCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From NEBCO's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a chance of showers and perhaps a few thunderstorms. See an afternoon high around 52. Tonight, a chance of showers continues to be breezy as well with the low around 37. And tomorrow, decreasing clouds throughout the day. A little breezy with the high around 57. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Tanner's Bar and Grill is the perfect place to watch the NCAA tournament from the round of 64 all the way to the championship. Bring your friends and family in to enjoy Tanner's delicious hamburgers, chicken lips, and daily specials, and wash it down with one of their tons of options of beers. You'll never have an issue finding the game, as there are TVs everywhere throughout the space. So get in early, grab your spot, and settle in for a day of NCAA tournament basketball at Tanner's Bar and Grill, 30th and Yankee Hill.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Southeast Community College invites you to check out our spaces ahead of your official campus visit. Our virtual campus tours let you see our campuses and learn more about our programs of study. Then you can schedule your individual visit in person or virtually. Virtual tours of our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, or Milford, and our learning centers are online at southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
Spring often marks the beginning of severe weather, which can lead to power outages. LES wants you to be prepared before the storm. Restock your emergency kit, update your info with LES, and if you encounter an outage, report it at les.com/report.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
What a day. I could sure use an afternoon pick-me-up. Hold up. The new 93.7 The Ticket location has a milk, coffee, and tea inside? Oh yeah, this is a game changer.
Need an afternoon pick-me-up? How about a coffee or smoothie on your way to work? Stop by the Ticket Mill location on 1040 O Street to get your go-to drink or try out our new game day drinks exclusive to the Ticket Mill location. We know it'll make your day a million times better.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
This is On the Block with Strickland Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NEPCO. This is On the Block with Strickland Austin.
Hour 2 of a Monday show. Thanks to NEPCO for sponsoring it. Visit NEPCOinc.com, NEBCOINC, Inc.com to get your new career started today. They're hiring for all sorts of positions if you're looking for a change in your career. NEBCOinc.com. I'm Austin Norman, joined by Husker Hall of Famer, 9-year NBA vet Erick Strickland. The question of the hour: would you, Nebraska men's basketball fans, trade a football national title for a men's Sweet 16 appearance? Would you, Husker women's basketball fans, trade a volleyball national title for a Final Four appearance? That's the question in front of us right now. 402-464-5685. Before we get to that, Strick, we saw this over the weekend, and I still don't understand how such a thing can happen. Mismatched, incorrectly measured 3-point lines in the Portland region of the NCAA women's basketball tournament. You saw the pictures.
I did.
It's not even close.
Not even
How do you mess up like that?
How my boy must have been on that good ooh-wee, that Snoop Doggy. They say in Portland they got it up there. You know, it's pretty regular. Maybe he was on one that night and got to having conversations with himself about, I can shoot this three and and move the line in a little bit. I don't know, but that's crazy because it was not even close, Austin. It was it's easily distinguishable. And I think I would advise anybody that is doing that, make sure you go upstairs when you're finished and look down and just make sure there's some equalities as far as the distance between the lines. It was bad, real bad.
It feels
now. How do you do that if you're are you mad that in the second half you don't get that advantage? Like, how do you feel if you're a coach at that specific instance?
Okay, we have the
and
number.
You're not even supposed to play if you're a ref. Like, if you're a ref, you're not like you're supposed to, like, as a ref, there's things we check, like the backboard, the lining, the height, the ball. There's all these different checks, the lines, where the box is. There's all those things you're supposed to check. And if you miss that as a ref, you should be fired. But I don't think that they were going to not let the game happen. But if you're a coach, like, are you flipping for second half, getting that advantage to shoot closer? I don't know. How do you do it?
We'll get into the stats here in just a sec, because the NCAA actually put out the numbers from these games, how each team shot going at the correct distance and then the shorter distance. Here is the NCAA statement, though. As you're likely aware, the NCAA was notified Sunday that the 3-point lines in Portland, Oregon were uneven. The NCAA staff and women's basketball committee members on site consulted with the two head coaches who were made aware of the discrepancy. All parties elected to play a complete game on the court as is, rather than delaying the game and correcting the court at that time. Okay, so the coaches were consulted. And here's the thing. It's fair.
Yeah.
Both teams
going to get the advantage.
Get a crack at it. They only switch at halftime.
Yeah.
They play the 4 quarters, but they only switch directions at halftime. So both teams have 2 quarters going at each basket. So that part's fair. Maybe it's an advantage. Maybe it's a disadvantage going at it, toward your home side versus toward the visitor side or the opponent side. I don't know. But here's how the NCAA said it happened. Their official supplier is used to produce and install all of the courts at the predetermined tournament site. So they use the same supplier everywhere across the country. They for all NCAA courts, a small hole is punched in the floor at each end of the court that indicates center of basket during the finishing process. A calibrated vinyl tape device is then placed in the hole, which lays the 2-inch game line to be painted. So the line is 2 inches thick, right over that hole there. After the Elite Eight game and a team practice there, the NCAA worked with the officials from this contracting company to inspect the court, and they found the center hole was punched in the wrong position. So it was 9 inches off. That's a big deal. I mean, think about moving the college line to the NBA line as a foot, even the men's line to the women's line, the foot difference it used to be. 9 inches is a big deal, Stricky. That's not nothing. That's a significant difference. And you can tell just how close the arc is to the top of the fingernail, essentially, and how far it is on the other side.
Yeah, you definitely can. And I'll tell you what, that's like, I could shoot those set shots. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like coming off a screen and you could set shot and just, those are like warm-ups, practice. But then you add the distance, you kind of got to, maybe add a little bit more leg, a little bit more effort. But I would say that's weird, but it's a good thing that they were able to at least have the conversation, address that with the coaches, and to come up with a solution is to not have the game delayed. So I'm glad that they came up with a solution to do it, but that's odd that it happened this way, especially if you're using the same company. Where on the, like I'm saying, where somebody smoking a ooh-wee, like that's a huge difference. And to not catch that, that's a huge difference. And whoever it is that's supervising that is in trouble, because that's a big contract. This thing, moolah. There's a lot of moolah involved. Big contract.
Because this is the company that's doing it for both the men's and the women's tournaments. Big old contract. 7735 said, aren't those courts just put together like a puzzle? I assumed they were pre-marked. The NCAA is telling you differently. That, yes, I mean, the wood will fit together just like you're laying down, flooring in your kitchen or your living room or wherever, but they must paint the lines to some degree. And I'm sure they do it different ways at different places, but my takeaway from this is all those puzzle pieces are laid down, everything's marked out, and then just like baseball, you spray paint over it where it's supposed to go, especially the center court line. And, someone else was asking which one was the correct line. The second one, before the line was too short. So the NCAA painted over it with a similar color to the rest of the wood and just painted the top of the arc essentially the same black color. 7563. How did no one notice it for 5 games?
Right.
That part. How, I mean,
even referees.
Really? You're not on defense saying, I can fit 1 foot all the way inside the arc, but my toes are touching the line here. My heel's in the same place. You don't notice that?
Yeah. That shows you the awareness of, to me, the day. Like, I would have noticed that. Like, I've even noticed one time, I remember we were doing a shoot around, and I'm shooting, and I'm like, that rim's not 10 feet. And then they went and measured it, and it wasn't. It was like 9 and 9.25, 9.5. And then they had to adjust. It's like, no, that's not. No.
When you shoot that many shots and you see a rim that long, like can you just tell?
Yeah, I could literally tell that's not 10 feet. And what I think happened was they had maybe like a little camp, or they had something where kids came in beforehand and they lowered it so that, some of the kids could have fun shooting. They just didn't readjust it. But I noticed it at practice. I was like, no, this ain't it. And yeah, they figured it out. But that's just having court presence, court awareness, like I can't believe that wasn't noticed, even by the referees. Like, you're supposed to look at all aspects of the court. You walk out, you do a walkthrough, you go and check the stanchions, the backboard, make sure the padding, you do all of that stuff. And that's what you're supposed to do. Let me just say you're supposed to do that. But most people don't, just kind of go out there. But I can't believe that was missed multiple games by staff, coaches,
everybody,
all that, everybody.
The numbers. You would think that being closer at the top of the key would provide an advantage, just naturally. Here are the numbers. Okay, so on the 29th, North Carolina State and Stanford shot overall 12 of 42 from three-point range. On the short line, those teams were 4 of 20. On the correct line, they were 8 of 22. Better on the regular line. Next game was Gonzaga, Texas. On the regular line, those teams were combined 3 of 12. On the short line, they combined 6 of 20. Again, not a huge difference, but a little bit. The next day, Baylor and USC. The short line was 6 of 22. The regular line was 8 of 21. Okay, so benefit there to the regular line again. Duke, UConn, the shorter line was 3 of 15, and the longer line was 4 of 20. And then NC State and Texas, 4 of 12 on the incorrect shorter line and 6 of 12 on the correct one. It was actually a benefit,
right,
to have the regular line.
Regular line. It's the thing. It's what you've been used to. I think this is probably why women are saying to themselves, a lot of people are trying to figure out how do they make the game more interesting and fun to watch. And sometimes when people throw out different ideas, my thing is throw out an idea, Austin, listeners, throw out an idea, but don't just like kill the ideas being thrown out. Like, well, you come up with something. Help me to understand, like, how can we make this better? And all you're doing is killing ideas or mad about God. Like, they get mad sometimes at men that are just throwing ideas out. Like it's like the movie Murder, She Wrote, or the show Murder, She Wrote. Like, the minute it comes out, like Psycho, right? But I'm saying, like, help come up with solutions to make it better. But I can understand possibly, because we just looked at the line, the moving of the different lines. We've talked about that. Some talked about it for the NCAA moving the line back and how that's going to affect the game, so forth. I think it helps for spacing. The more the wider that line is, it moves people back a little bit more. You've got to guard. Yeah, it helps in spacing. So for me, I'm looking at it like, how can we make this game better? And I think this is why women get upset about lowering the rim, because they've been so used to shooting at 10 feet that they may feel in their mind anything that happens new. And anybody listening, you can understand what I'm saying. Anything that happens new is always an apprehension. Like, if you're coming into a new job or you're coming into a new school, like if you've been transferred and you go in, you're there's some apprehension there always. And I think that's kind of what it is. It's just a life thing.
Whether it's a 3-point line or, a new job or whatever it is, you're absolutely right. There is that natural hesitancy, apprehension. I think that you're saying is a good word for it. Absolutely. Not a good look for the NCAA or its contractor. I don't want to, say the NCAA did it wrong. Maybe it was just a human error, but just keeps adding up, against the NCAA. Let's move on to this topic, Strick. Would you trade a Nebraska football national championship for Nebraska men's basketball Sweet 16 appearance?
If you ask me that, what do you think I'm going to say?
You're going to say no, because Stricky likes to share. Stricky wanted his teams to earn it, didn't want it given to him. Stricky wants to see Nebraska.
That's a fact.
Men's basketball take that step on its own.
That's a fact. I probably would have said that way. I'm going to say, as a fan of Nebraska, as a former student of Nebraska, I wouldn't give up the natty. I wouldn't give up the natty. I would say still go fight for it. Fight for your right
to party.
You know it. That's what I would say. But I would not give up the natty for a Sweet 16 berth.
Not even the 1970 national title that no one remembers, the first one. No. You're not sacrificing your firstborn national championship for Sweet 16?
Not at all.
What about the second one? I mean, yeah, you went back to back, but you won one the year before. Do you really need a second one?
Well, we're in the 2020s now. I'm going to challenge Fred and the group. You know what's ahead of you. You know what hasn't been done. We're the only one left that hasn't gone to a Sweet 16 or even won a first game. We're the only one left.
Yeah.
So go and make your history. That's what I'm saying. Like, I was blessed to be a part of history. Consecutive NCAA tournament berths, winning first conference championship, winning first national of any kind. That was the history that we were able to be blessed to make. But now I think it's new. Go and make their own history. You see what I'm saying? You can't go back to the Big 8. That's done. Big 8 is done. You're no longer part of the Big 12. Go make history. Everything now is before you to make your own history, starting in the Big 10 and nationally. Go set the team up to go do that.
That's fair. But also, like, 94, do you really need that one? I mean, you're going to destroy Florida the next year anyways. 95, do you really need that one? I mean, you just beat Miami the year before.
Back to back.
Or just imagine.
How rare is back to back in football?
Very rare.
Very rare. So that's why that's a beautiful thing that they were able to accomplish that. Where they did it
70, 71, and 94, 95. Okay. So going back to back is a big deal. Keep those. What if we take Jay Foreman's
97
second national championship off the board?
Is it 97?
What if Matt Davison doesn't catch that kicked pass and Nebraska doesn't play for the national title, but it means Nebraska beats A&M in Houston? Tell me you don't make that trade? Like, yeah, seeing Tom Osborne go out a winner is
I'm down for
a
that
big
one.
deal.
I'm down for that one. I like that one. I might be down for that one.
97 was good, but 94 was the first one for Coach Osborne as head coach. 95 going back-to-back, maybe the most dominant team of all time. 97 was good, but like it did take the miracle. Not to downplay it, but you're telling me
was that the miracle or was that the extra down?
No, that was Colorado that got the extra down.
Colorado got the extra down against Michigan.
Yeah,
right?
It was Nebraska against Missouri, where
he kicked
Kevin Wiggins kicked it to Matt Davison.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because I don't know if people understand just how big a deal it is that Nebraska men's basketball is the only team to not win a tournament game. The only one, right? We're not trading this national championship for one win. You get a guaranteed 2 wins. You're on to the Sweet 16. And yeah, I know it's just a quarterfinal. Someone texted, why would you trade a national championship for a quarterfinal? Because it's never been done before. Nebraska men's basketball hasn't done it, and that's a big deal. You still have 4 other football national championships to look at. You went back-to-back twice. That's awesome. If you lose one title, it's not like your bona fides as a blue blood or thrown out the window all of a sudden. But what about this, Strick? Let's flip it around.
Wait, well, let's stay there because I want the flip around.
Okay.
But real quick, I want to address this part. The 2 games won and going into that Sweet 16, listen, I got to see what that first round game of Texas A&M and Nebraska, when I tell you it was a little sliver of Texas A&M fans and dang near the whole stadium was red. I got to see that personally when we went to the NIT final. When we're playing against Philadelphia St. Joseph's right down the road, the freaking garden was full of red. And there was a sliver of St. Joe fans. Just think of what that Sweet 16, whatever the destination is. It didn't matter where it is. You can go as far as to Secaucus. You can go as far as to San Diego. As far north as Seattle, I don't care. It does not matter. They would have shown up. I think that's the beauty of what I would have loved to have seen is just how them fans, because, well, I even saw it even on another level. When we went, when Nebraska played Northwestern in Ireland, when I tell you it was a big red takeover of Ireland, and the people that showed up at this place called Buskers, not Huskers, Buskers, it blew me away. It blew me away. You saw Northwestern fans kind of trickling around, but there was red everywhere. That's what I would have loved to have seen. The beauty of that, because I got to witness it personally.
There's so much more we could dive into this topic, but the quick flip around before we get to Brian Munson of Husker Online to talk Husker recruiting is this. Would you trade a volleyball national championship for a women's Final Four appearance?
I would love to see it.
I throw Final Four out there for the women because they've at least made the Sweet 16.
I would love to see it. I would love that would be dope too. I want to finally see the emergence of the basketball program that had been in the shadows, in the cellar, in the dungeon for so long. Yes, the support is there, but I would love to see it on par with what's happening like at Alabama, as what's happening at like Kentucky. Like Kentucky's the other way around.
Yeah.
Like the basketball program was a Stapleton and the football program was in the shadows. And now the football program has emerged. Like I want to see that for like Nebraska. I would love to see that.
Why not? We got a lot of good texts on this. We will get back to those here in just a couple minutes. But first, Brian Munson of Husker Online. A lot of interesting stuff going on in Husker recruiting, and spring ball's opened up. We'll get Brian's thoughts on that and plenty more when we get back to On the Block.
Spring often marks the beginning of severe weather, which can lead to power outages. LES wants you to be prepared before the storm. Restock your emergency kit, update your info with LES, and if you encounter an outage, report it at les.com/report.
Problem gambling can destroy an individual's finances, relationships, physical, and mental health. If you or a loved one are struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are. Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Looking for a job that feels like family? Join Lincoln Industries, where tradition meets innovation. They're a family-owned, privately held manufacturing company with a passion for excellence and a commitment to their community. They have openings on all shifts at both the main plant and air park facilities, offering flexibility to fit your schedule. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, there's a place for you there. At Lincoln Industries, they invest in their people's success, providing opportunities for growth and advancement. Apply now and become a part of something special at Lincoln Industries.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here during On the Block. We go to our VIP line brought to you by Allo Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We welcome in Brian Munson of Husker Online. Brian, long time no chat. Hope you had a good Easter. How are you?
I'm doing fine, man. How are you?
Yeah, no complaints here. Doing pretty well. Jumping into all sorts of stuff with you, Husker spring ball, Husker recruiting. But here's the real question, Brian. Would you trade one of Nebraska football's national championships for a Bill Super Bowl win?
Even selfishly, I don't think it's a good enough trade. I've been in plenty of circles here, living in Dallas, wearing Buffalo Bills shirts, confronted by Dallas Cowboys fans, and they go, I bet the 90s were rough on you. And I'm like, it didn't suck. I was a Cornhuskers fan too. I'm from Nebraska. So it's very It's very much. I think that you look at the having won 3 and played in 4 or 5, however you want to kind of take a look at that. I think I'll take where Nebraska is at in my personal situation and not trade anything out.
Okay, well, would you trade a Natty for a Nebraska football for a Sweet 16 appearance for men's basketball?
No.
Holding on to the football Natties?
No, I mean, my apologies. They're to Strick, obviously, but I'm definitely sticking with the Nebraska side. I think when you can just take that period of time and you can show how dominant you were, and you can put yourself in Tom Osborne in the same breath as, Saban and Alabama, and Bear and Alabama, and you can do this based on that generation and that period in time. So I don't think, if you took anything else away from that, particularly didn't make it back to back, I think you diminish it enough to where it gets kind of skipped over a little bit. Now you just, the way that it sits right now, you can't skip over that time at Nebraska.
Fair enough. Thought it was a fun thought exercise. Got most of the responses agreeing with you, but thought I'd throw the question out there. All right, Husker football, not taking national titles away in order to gain any recruits. That's off the table. Early impressions of spring ball in your reports from Nebraska spring camp in terms of how winter work went and how the first couple weeks of spring have gone.
Yeah. I think that, I think everybody feels really good and confident about the defense. I think when you take a look at what Tony White has coming back, what he reloaded, what he has kind of plugged in, into some other places, and, another year, in the system with the strength and conditioning staff, where they're at with their winter conditioning, et cetera. I think people have to feel like that defense shouldn't have a tremendous fall off. I think they have a lot of guys that'll be gone after the end of this coming season. But I think for what they reloaded and what they brought back, they should be really stout, on the defensive side of the football. I think the big talk on the offensive side, looking past the quarterback position just temporarily, the 2 big transfer wide receivers. And, I saw them both in February at the St. Michael's event that we were at, and they're monsters. They are monsters. They are 6'4", 6'5", and thick and put together. And just, I had such a great conversation with Coach Foley, and just, sitting there just kind of staring at those guys going, I just couldn't even imagine being a defensive back and being across from those guys. And that's really what was missing, I think, from that room and from the team last year, just having those kinds of players there. And I think that obviously another year under the belt for several players, Fedoni, Harburg, the offensive line, you've got a nice little nucleus coming back. You have some nice things to say about the 2 freshman quarterback, not just Raiola, but Kalen as well. It sounds like, that they're both having a great spring. I privately heard really great things about the 2 freshman offensive linemen and Bricks and Pyle. So lots of things to be optimistic, I think, about. And I know things are going to get turned on and people will be swimming in it very, very quickly. But I think that it's going to be fun to kind of see how this thing progresses and carries out to the spring game.
So, Brian, what do you think about what you're hearing and what you're observing? Is it coinciding with what you've heard from the development form of what Coach Rule has been saying, what a lot of the staff has been saying? That balance of youth as well as veteran leadership now that have been here long enough to kind of see the woes and the hurts and the pains and ready to take that next step. Like what are you hearing, seeing as you're watching it all pan out and happen right in front of you?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of truth to what's being said and what's being displayed. The eyes that are seeing it. I thought it was particularly telling how the recruits last week. The Caden Vermontes and the Pierce Newberries and a few other guys that I spoke with last week that were there in Lincoln. I thought it was really telling how the coaching staff is letting them know they're not afraid to put young guys on the football field, young guys they feel like can help the football team. And basically they were saying like, we saw it. We saw that everybody was moving. Everybody had something to do. There was no standing around. People were working in, and if they felt like you were doing a great job with wherever you were at, you were essentially being moved around and pushed into different areas and doing different things. They are going through a process right now, in my opinion, of install, of familiarization, of evaluation. And they are having to figure out, where those gaps are at. They've made some changes, Buckley and Machachek from defensive line to offensive line. They're looking for some help. They're looking for some guys to step up. And I think that they want to know, like, if they have to continue to make moves to find, ways to get people involved, or say that this guy's too good to be sitting around on the sideline as the 4th-string whatever, we could use him and he could probably be as high as 2nd string at some other spot on the other side of the football. And I think that those are the kinds of conversations that they are having right now. They're trying to find a way to balance out this roster, balance out where they're at within, the depth charts at all the positions, to find the right and adequate depths, and where that they know that they need to possibly go look in the portal, in June. And that's such a weird kind of thing to say, because, obviously they're going to have to find a way to get back to E5. And, to take anybody else additional, you got to get below that. And I think last year when we were kind of talking about it and kind of anticipating it, there was no activity. And so it's going to be very interesting to see, how this stuff kind of continues to play out. But I think that they're going through, and I think it's matching what is being said. There's transparency with the staff. I've heard it from everybody else that I've dealt with and talked to about them. There's transparency here with where they're at, with how things are going. There's a vibe there between the older states, the older players on the roster, the leaders that that are 60-year guys, and guys that are brand new on campus or just haven't had that type of role yet with the team. They're people that are stepping up all over the place.
Continue on that thread there, Brian. When I think of one of those examples of transparency and the elder statesman maybe being ahead, I think about Matt Rule's comments on Stephon Thompson, the transfer linebacker from Syracuse, who he said was a little bit behind. When you hear that and doing your work behind the scenes, do you think that's maybe a warning sign on the Stephon Thompson front, or is that a positive for Nebraska that, hey, everyone that's been here a year knows what the drill is? They're just more ready for it, and Stephon Thompson maybe just has a bit of a learning curve here early in spring ball.
I love that lens that I feel like people that the players at Nebraska understand the game. They are there currently because they were the best players that Nebraska was able to recruit to join the class. And right now the coaches are on the road, or when they are on the road, they're trying to recruit over the players that are currently on the roster. It's really a sinister, ugly kind of thing if you really think about that process. But I think the players are constantly reminded of that. Stephon Thompson, I think number one, I think it does reflect on the positivity around what's going on currently with the roster that was already there, and that was Tony White's guy. Tony White basically, said that's his guy. They want to go ahead and recruit him, and Tony White's going to get what he wants, obviously, on that side of the football. But then I think it also speaks to the negatives that maybe he didn't come in shape. He didn't come in at that ideal weight. And I think you miss that time, obviously, or at least you're struggling to basically get up to speed, mat drills and everything else that's going on in the winter. And you're trying now to cut 10, 15, 20 pounds and get down to where they think that you need to be at to build yourself back up again, to then jump right back into spring ball. I think there's just, there has to be a little bit more of a level of professionalism when it comes to, I'm not going to be at this one place much longer. I'm going to be going someplace else. But if you take that lull in between, basically, going through the recruiting process again, and then jumping back in, 2 or 3 weeks later when you get back to wherever you've committed to or signed with, it's much better to come in, and be ready to go. And I think that's part of what that comment was about, was just not being completely and totally ready. I mean, this is still a guy that, came off of a knee injury a year ago. You've got to take things a little bit more seriously when it comes to that stuff, because you can fall right back into like where you were at before with not being able to kind of move and do those types of things. You're going to have to continually stay disciplined, on top of that, to be ready to go when you get to Nebraska from Syracuse, for example.
Talking to Brian Munson of Husker Online here during On the Block, HuskerOnline.com, part of the On3 network. Go check him out. A couple interesting players I want some thoughts from you on, Brian, as you cover the sinister, as you termed it, Husker recruiting. Let's start with this name, Evan Jacobson out of Waukee, Iowa. Please tell me he's related to Michael Jacobson.
I can't tell you that for sure. Would have been an interesting question to ask him. I last night. So first of all, a little bit of a new name, and Nebraska's made some recent 2026 offers to tight ends. I mean, if you just stare at the roster a little bit, it's understandable why Nebraska is saying that they need a few more guys like on their board, to kind of take a look at. Jacobson doesn't have an offer yet, but he will be in later. Good-sized kid, obviously border state guy. So those are always more important and held in a little bit higher regard when it comes to the recruiting profile and what they're looking to try to do. So anytime Nebraska can kind of dip into Iowa and take guys away from either the Cyclones or Hawkeyes, they're going to go ahead and do it. So yeah, Jacobson will be there soon, but I can't tell you about that relationship. I will send him a text message tonight.
Sounds good. I want so badly for him to be related to Michael Jacobson. I think that would just be a content gold mine. Let's move down to the state of Texas in a couple guys here, Brian, on the offensive side. Let's start on the offensive line. Marcus Garcia from Denton. What do you know about that young man?
4-star Denton Ryan guy, obviously former high school of former defensive end for Nebraska, Josh Williams. I'm actually going to go up and see Garcia in his spring practices a little bit later on. He is very excited about having an opportunity to get up to Nebraska here very soon. I mean, it's still one of those things, I think, for Nebraska to stay relevant in the state of Texas. I know that they didn't have, I think the numbers like the 5 guys in South Florida, and I think that they could have had a few more guys in the state of Texas, and then they got kind of into this run of summer offers and taking some commitments away from that. I think that actually took away some of the numbers for the possibilities of guys they could have got from the state of Texas. But Marcus Garcia, he's a highly coveted guy. I mean, Texas A&M is beating down his door. Michigan's right there for him. Probably a guy that, as even though like On3 has him kind of tagged as being an interior offensive lineman, probably at 6'5" could play the tackle position too. And I think that that's what Nebraska is looking for, is not as many 6'3" guys and 6'4" guys. I think they're looking for 6'5" and above, and I think they're looking for some versatility. Garcia definitely would fit the bill.
Also in Texas, also on the offense, but out at wide receiver, Quinnell Farrakhan Jr. Seems like that's a big one, and you look at his final 3, Bama, and then another Trev Alberts Bowl.
Yeah, very true. No, Quinnell, he and I were exchanging messages in January. He was all set to come up to Nebraska's Elite Junior Day in January, and something happened. And he had taken, I think there was a visit to Miami, and he had picked up a couple other offers for some other places. I just knew this. I knew from talking to another parent of a 2024 commitment that Nebraska was doing everything they could to get on Quinnell's radar, and they were actually recruiting him the best back in January out of all the schools that were trying to recruit him. So it's not really surprising that Nebraska made his top 3, or his final 3. Excuse me. I think he had it down as his final 3. It is, however, a little surprising that he has them there and did not visit recently. So I'm trying to get a hold of Quinnell again to see like if he's got a plan to get back, if there's an official visit set up and we just don't know about it yet. But yeah, that is a playmaker, and playing in the Houston area at the Woodlands. The Woodlands, obviously, really, really tough school, highly populated area, single high school. They all roll in together there. And he is very dangerous when you put the ball in his hands. That's a very fun guy. If you go out there and put on his film, he does some things like he makes plays in phone booths, and he can make people miss. He has a real playmaking ability and a knack for making those plays.
And then in the quarterback position, a 2025 guy was Mason Drube on campus visiting today.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Noah McHale, 4-star linebacker from California, is on campus today, but he'll also be there tomorrow. So we don't anticipate catching up with him until tomorrow. Cade Peterzik was an edge that was in town from North Dakota last week. Have not caught up with him, but we'll get Drew tomorrow. In fact, I was just texting with him a little bit before to see if he knew what time he was going to be off campus tomorrow. But yeah, that's an interesting guy to keep an eye on. Just picked up an offer from Michigan State out of Gillette, Wyoming, and so he's a big kid. Nebraska could have an idea to take a couple of quarterbacks. I mean, they have TJ Lateef coming in, for the spring game in April. And there was some really good positive vibes about him at the Under Armour Next camp out in Los Angeles last weekend when we were out there talking to him. Definitely seemed like Nebraska is the trending team for Lateef. So let's see what Nebraska does with Drew.
How do those two compare size-wise? Because I'm looking at Drube's profile, and it screams Dylan Raiola, right? Bigger, thicker baseball player. Is that kind of the template, the mold of quarterback that you see the staff starting to prioritize more and more?
It's certainly possible. I mean, trying to compare them to, those are obviously two very comparable guys. I think that, there's a couple other quarterbacks, like the kid that eliminated Nebraska. He's down to like Georgia, and there's a couple other schools. He's supposed to be committing later on this week. I can't think of his last name, out of Pennsylvania. He was a little bit more of a slight build, even though he was kind of a dual threat guy. But I think Nebraska realizes to play in the Big Ten, you have to be durable, and to be durable, more than likely that means you're going to have to be a little thicker and a little bit more well put together, robust. Let's just say robust. So, I don't think that's a coincidence at all, and I can see them definitely going that way. But I think that they still feel like the legs, the athleticism, that's the X factor when it comes to that position in the offense.
There it is, Brian Munson of Husker Online with us. Check out his work updated on everything recruiting on Husker Online. Brian joins us here during On the Block at 3:30. Follow him on Twitter at Brian Munson _ on Twitter. Brian, as always, we appreciate the time. Great catching up with you. We'll do it again soon.
All right, guys. Talk to you soon.
Once again, Brian with us on our VIP line, brought to you by Aloe Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Jay Foreman in the building. We'll see which one of his championships he's giving up to get Nebraska gets tricky to the Sweet 16. We'll do that next.
Several irrigation contractors in Lincoln go out of business every year, leaving sprinkler system orphans begging for service. The folks at Judson Irrigation shed a tear for these little fellas. They've been coddling these orphans for more than 40 years. From redesign, repairing, replacing, and restoring, remember the Judson Irrigation Orphanage.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a chance of showers and perhaps a few thunderstorms. See an afternoon high around 52. Tonight, a chance of showers continues to be breezy as well, with the low around 37. And tomorrow, decreasing clouds throughout the day, a little breezy with the high around 57. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The Electrical Workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today. At Fairway Meat Market, your family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now, through April 7th, enjoy USDA Choice 8-ounce New York strips for $6.99 each, hickory smoked bacon for $4.99 per pound, fresh boneless, skinless chicken breast for $2.99 per pound, and whole tri-tip for $9.99 per pound. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Old School with DP and J.
So I knew that it was a crapshoot with the grown-up professionals at the highest level. Who's going to bet? I don't know whether the starting center's girlfriend broke up with him, whether his parents have groceries that week. I don't know whether his roommate and him had a fight. So why would I want to bet on that?
93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Drinking and driving causes serious harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. In 2021, 65 people were killed in Nebraska by a car crash involving a drunk driver. Do not drink and drive. By drinking less, you can still be here for your loved ones. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with Samsung.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
I'd like to have my fun maybe more like on like a Tuesday, like in February or something. Let's see if I can pull a prank on somebody. But not on
it's
prank
like it's
day.
total amateur hour.
Yeah, it's just like National Prank Day. Yeah.
Yeah, I do got a little announcement to make.
What's that? Oh, wait, breaking news?
I won't be here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Monday.
Whoa! What? Kitty? This
April Fools.
Oh! He got it. That's actually well done. It's so good.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Here we go, wrapping up on the block, crossing over with Old School. Jay Foreman in the house. Jay, welcome in. What's up? How goes it?
What's going on?
Do you like to think of yourself as a good guy, kind man, generous?
Yeah, sure.
Which
I'll roll
one-
with it.
Which one of your 2 national titles are you giving up for Nebraska men's basketball to make a Sweet 16 next year?
I ain't giving up nothing.
I was going to say you're not generous. You're not going to share with your man Strick? Not going to help lift his program?
Oh, you mean no? I mean, I don't know about that. That's a lot to ask.
I know it is.
I'm not mad at you, Jay.
I don't think I can do that. I mean, I'd be hyped for the basketball program. I'm not giving them no national title rings for them to make the Sweet 16. They can do it on their own. It mean more to them.
That's what I said.
Trade one of your natties for a Super Bowl?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I would trade the first one.
95?
94.
Or 94. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd trade that one for a Super Bowl.
Still beat down Florida.
Yep. And then we still break off in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And here's why I'd trade that one, because that's the family. That's the second family's university is Miami. It's actually the first, but I'm the only one that didn't go. So I'd be back in good graces.
You would be.
Yeah. Throughout the whole Maryland crew that went down and got into Miami, Florida. And the Super Bowl, man, it would be phenomenal. That'd be the triple state championship, state champion, college champion, or national champion, Super Bowl. We won't be able to do it, but yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, so 94's off the table. Where are you winning your Super Bowl? Buffalo, Houston, New York, San Fran.
Well, definitely not New York and San Francisco, because I was just passing through there.
But Jay, think if you win one there, it's like, hey, this guy just joined a roster. You can send your career another 2-3 years.
Then I can smoke a stogie with LT.
Yeah. This ain't no write it off so fast.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, then the next thing, if I went to San Fran, I could kick it with Jerry Rice.
Mm-hmm.
But if I won one in Houston, you legend, forever, infamy.
In Houston, you would be forever a legend.
I'm already
Buffalo,
in,
Jay.
but then I would be already am. I would be the prince. Andre's the king, and I'm the prince.
Okay.
Yeah. Arian Foster, I don't know what they call him. He just tricked off everything that you had. He had it there, and he just tricked it off. But no, all seriousness, I mean, Buffalo would be great just because I love Buffalo.
Buffalo loves you.
And when they lost 4 of them, and it'd be great. I mean, you talking about a party. Oh my God, it'd be beer in Buffalo. Everybody would just. Nobody would be working in Buffalo for like 6 months.
6 months?
Really?
Oh, if they when they win a Super Bowl, strict, off the charts.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's same with the Toronto Maple Leafs. They went
like the Sabres in their Stanley Cup.
Yeah, but if
6 months.
Oh, if Buffalo Bills won a Super Bowl, Buffalo is off the charts for 6 months. Might be too much. At least 2 months, people ain't working. Oh, I mean, that's guaranteed.
That's crazy.
Hey,
I think that's dope, but it's crazy. That means they
the bars,
especially
the
after
bars
losing 5.
The bars in Buffalo stay open to 6 a.m.
Okay.
So just imagine if they won a Super Bowl.
Well, just imagine if they would have won one of the 5.
Or one of the 4, yeah.
Was it 4?
Yeah, they lost 4 in a row.
Okay, 4 in a row.
Yeah.
It would have been sick. Even back then?
Yeah, I wasn't there, but yeah, it had been off the charts. You couldn't. You couldn't stop the magnitude of partying in Buffalo.
Yeah.
And now that they got the Bills Mafia strict, they throwing people through tables now. Oh, the only way it would stop is somebody end up dead. Just be like, you know what, we got to chill out. But I'm telling you, Buffalo, there is nothing. I mean, I shouldn't say nothing, but I can say this. I went back to Buffalo a couple years ago, and Buffalo actually is a city. It's kind of like Lincoln. It's really grown. You know what I mean? It's and that was why it was such a great stepping stone for me to go from obviously winning here to winning organization there, good pros, smaller city, and everything was about the Buffalo Bills. And so it was eat, drink, and sleep football. There wasn't a lot to do. So that was the best thing for me, being a late round, draft choice. I had to focus. There wasn't time to go.
Yeah.
I had other teammates that went to New York and Atlanta. They got a lot of distractions down there.
That's a fact.
And so I was able to kind of, be there, and the people were great. But I'm telling you, man, There's one way in. There's two ways into the stadium and two ways out. Essentially, one way in and one way out, and it ain't changed. And I'm telling you, when you roll down to a game, I'm telling you, it is nothing like it, man. I'm just and granted, I played and people in Kansas City say the same thing. There's nothing like rolling up the Arrowhead, being the visitor team, and knowing that you're going to the same one when I went to Pittsburgh. But being at home at Buffalo when it's cold and you playing the Dolphins or you playing the Raiders, it is on. And it's not just Saturday. It's you see them RVs and whatever they doing tailgating show up Tuesday night and they getting it cracking all week long.
All week.
Yes. And you might see 5, right? Then next thing you know, you see 30. And then you see the hundreds. And it's on. And the thing is, Strick, you drive the one way, you go in the regular way, the player's interest. But if you had to, like, if you ever want to go the back way, as like where I went as a former player, and like say like a fan would go, you go through them neighborhoods though.
Yeah.
And so them people be out there. It ain't just you drive through there. You go like one little block, it's on. They out there waiting for you. And so it means a lot more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like them people living and dying by it. So when you step out on the field, man, it's like Nebraska. Like I always tell the story where I was at the Super Saver out there on 27th and Nebraska Highway. In there, thought I was balling. I bought like this cube steak, the ones that had the grate on it. I think I'm Strick. I got my little Pell Grant. Hey, Strick. Hey, your boy thought he was getting a Pell. I got my Pell Grant, right? So I'm boss ball. This is the first Pell Grant I got. I'll say it. I was coming out the dorms. I put the little thumps in my Chevy Celebrity, right? And I had the root or the top up in there, and it was coming down. You know what I mean? But I had the thump in there. He said I'd roll around campus. I'd go womp 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 womp. I got a little smart, I'm off on my own. Go, yeah, all right. I'm trying to,
upgrade.
Yeah, well, just eat right.
Life.
Had my little summer job, and I'll never forget it, man. It was a little older lady, and I had it was like the steak. I always say them I call them cube steaks. They'd be this big. By the time you get them cooking them, they like this. You know what I'm saying? Cheap meat. Who knows what it is? They put steak on it. And she came up to me and she was like, "Are you guys going to be good in national championship this year? Because essentially we plan our whole Christmas vacation and our whole essentially family life about how you guys play." Dang. And I wasn't being cocky. I was like, yeah, I think I went through. I was like, yeah, we're working hard. I think we're doing well and all this other stuff. But like when I left and got home, I was like, dang,
right?
This is serious. Because but that's how it was in Buffalo. I roll up in there and get a good oil change. Homeboy was like, "How you missed that tackle on third and 6?"
They let you know.
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, you good. He's like, you having a good season, but dog, you too good to be missing that tackle against Sean Alexander." And I said, "Listen, man, I missed 3 tackles all season. Do you know how hard it is to tackle Sean Alexander?
Yeah,
he talking about 3rd and 8." And so like when I played in Buffalo, they talked about Jimmy Haslett, who was a great defensive coordinator, and he coached at the Saints and the Rams and all this other stuff. And I didn't know he had played in Buffalo. And so there was at the stadium, the way it was at the end, we used to we used to go hang at this place called the Big Tree Inn. And you go down there and they give, be burgers and beer and, camaraderie. So we'd watch tape till late and then eat and then go home. And we always had a safe passage home, if you know what I mean. But they talk about Jimmy Haslett like, remember the old Flintstones when they'd be at the Elks Club and they had the beer? Yeah. So but then when you think about this, people like Jimmy Haslett played, like he was coaching in the NFL when I was playing, but he was known for back then. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so for Buffalo, if they won, I'm dead serious. People ain't going to work. They kicking it strict.
Woo. In the cold.
Oh,
it don't matter how
here's
cold
the thing
they
about,
don't
here's
care.
The thing about
Can we pause 10 seconds for station ID, then tell us the thing?
Yeah, pause for strict.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Thank you.
Yeah, the thing about people in Buffalo, I just imagine, and so the Super Bowl is usually February. That's lake effect snow. Them
Mhm.
people down in Buffalo, man, they just get naked when they. I mean, I never seen so many people come to below zero games with no like shirts off, and they just get
Chest pain.
Yeah, man, face look all like wind burnt and stuff. Like, man, what's wrong with you? I remember we played in the game, man. This is the only game I ever like. I didn't care. Like, I was like, man, I'm ready. It's so cold. I'm ready for this game to get over.
Dang.
Yeah, Strick.
They didn't have the heaters like they have now.
No, the next year we got it. This year we didn't have anything. They had the
Little things
torches.
there, yeah.
But see, the thing is,
Like the
what
ones that caught Harbaugh's pants on fire?
yeah, but the thing is, here's the thing: if you stand too close to it and you have your helmet down, so what guys used to think they were smart was putting a helmet there and then put it on. Well, what it does, it expands your helmet. So the best thing you can do is keep your helmet on, right? But if you do it and get all warm, once you get out in the field, it's like icicles on because them pants is thin. And so we played New England one year, and we started the game. It was cold, kind of misting, no big deal. Came out at halftime, man. I swear to God, Strick, there was 3 inches of snow out there, bro. Wow. When I say it was cold, it was.
Yeah, that bone chiller.
Right. So they put the snow plows out there. So we played these cats, man, and Bill Belichick. Man, he put like a defensive lineman in there at fullback. He trying to make this into like 3 yards in a cloud of dust. So it's 9-on-7 all game long. We doing it, and then the kickers kept missing because they couldn't get any foot.
Right.
We go into overtime. Now we go into overtime. Same thing. It was like football folly. Fumble punt, try to kick a field goal, miss it. Do that. They drive all the way down there, miss it. So we get the ball and stuff. We driving all the way about to get the ball, right? Trick it off. They kick the game-winning field goal with like 1 second left.
Was it Vinatieri?
Yeah, but it was literally he couldn't. There's no way he could have missed it,
right?
Because it was at the one because we fumbled. We didn't even shake hands. We just went right into the locker. I asked my dad and him. I said, "Y'all will stay out there watch the game." He's like, "Man, we was in there after the first quarter." He said there were so many people in the family thing. He said there was so much heat in there that the TVs was fogged up. Yeah, they felt like they was in a sauna, man. I'm out there trying to work.
Cold as ice.
Hey, Strick. I stayed in that shower for 30, 45 minutes.
Just to defrost.
Yeah. Tony, yeah. No after game breakdown. I'm just headed right to the shower, dog.
That part.
What's coming up on Old School, Jim?
Obviously Sweet 16, Final Four, get some thoughts on it, and then talk a little spring football, what you want to see, going into the second week. And then we'll talk a little bit of these games tonight, right? You got USC, UConn. Then obviously you got LSU, Iowa going at it. You got some great superstars and a superstar in the making playing tonight. So women's college basketball is put in effect, or college basketball in general is having a good run here in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
There we go. Stricky, we started out rough. You gave me crap first thing as soon as you walked in, but we made it through. We'll do it again tomorrow.
We'll do it.
Mañana. Adios.
Does it seem like your clothes dryer doesn't dry like it used to? It may not be your dryer. It may be your dryer vent. When the vent becomes obstructed, it drastically reduces the efficiency of your dryer. Even worse, it can be a fire hazard. Here's the simple solution. Call Bryant. Bryant will thoroughly clean the vent and show you the before and after results. Call 467-1111. Keep your dryer operating efficiently and your home safe. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
The Omaha Supernovas are back in action this Tuesday, April 2nd, versus the San Diego Mojo at the Viejas Arena in San Diego. The Mullen Motors pregame show with Derek Pearson and Renee Saunders starts at 8 p.m. with first serve at 9. Make sure to tune in to the next Ag Appraisal and Realty postgame show right after the match ends. Catch all the action on your flagship station, 93.7 The Ticket, and statewide on the Supernovas Radio Network.